all from me. As a conclusion, brainwashing content is dangerous and it's in short form media everywhere. Yeah, I think that's all from me. I may I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you from the Prime Minister. The first speaker of government team spends 7 minutes. Then to start the case from the opposition, here the first speaker, Mr. Ibrahim.
Astaghfirullah. Okay, let's go. Thank you again, Prime Minister. Here we go. Lead of op. Whenever you're ready, you may start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Bahim.
Baik.
I'm sorry. This is a reply speaker, right? So the person only have 4 minutes.
No, this is the leader of opposition. We have 7 minutes. Reply speeches is after the leader of opposition, deputy leader of opposition, and opposition whip has talked. So there's 6 7-minute speeches and then 2 4-minute speeches. Just FYI. Okay. Can I start? Is everything okay?
Whenever you're ready, Baim.
Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, as well as things such as conflicts between global conflicts such as America placing tariffs on every single country in the world. It probably looks like those kinds of things, although brain rot does exist. The large bulk of content which short form media comprises of is not just brain rot. We also have to engage in the fact that there are beneficial things that exist within this diaspora. Secondly, it also exists due to the rise of business platformings, i.e. TikTok shops or IG Reels ads. Short form media essentially is used by a lot of individuals, businesses in particular, to tap into the global market, to sell their products and to get a better financial standing for themselves. The problem then is twofold. Firstly, a lack of awareness, i.e. people are only able to find out about global issues, both sides of global issues, from short form media largely because that's the large way in which this media is portrayed. And secondly, people don't really read newspapers, online tabloids, etc. Right? Second problem then is a higher barrier of entry for individuals, especially within the minority aspects of society, to buy into or start promoting their businesses and promoting therefore, right? So the ability for you to promote your business and the ability for you to be better aware of global issues and the different views that exist, therefore, exist exclusively on the opposition side, because the rise of ignorance towards global issues and the high barrier of entity for minorities necessitates the rise of short form content. What are we going to achieve today? Firstly, we're going to prove to you how we get better minority representation. And secondly, how there's better awareness for global issues. But before I get into my arguments, I first want to characterize a few things, right? Short form media, the rise of short form media rather, looks like an increase of consumption, i.e. firstly, people are more interested in sensationalist news. People are more aware of global issues. People want to know about global issues. So this short form media content usually caters to that need or want, right? Secondly, there's more people that need to promote their businesses, i.e. platforms like TikTok, platforms like Instagram have new methods or new programs by which people can buy into to set up shop and promote their business at an easier and more faster rate. And thirdly, a rise in creative content creation. So this includes things like brain rot. This also includes things like educational content, which people usually can buy into. But B, it also leads to a rise in misinformation, i.e. content is easily replicated, and there is also an permeation of false content or advertising. However, we'd like to deal with these points probably coming from government later from the get-go, that there are already pre-existing checks and balances for this. Firstly, platform regulation. If there's misinformation that exists within Instagram or TikTok, it's very easy to report it and regulate it therefore. Secondly, social media fact checkers. There are other forms of short content which are created just to deal with false information which are coming from a bulk of different content creators. And thirdly, algorithm can the social media algorithm can easily find out fake content that exists on social media. So what is the likely counterfactual then? Government has only told you that brain rot is basically turning all of the kids gay. I don't think that it is the fault of social media, because if a kid watches porn, is it the porn's fault or the parents' fault for not supervising the child appropriately? The reality is that it is probably the parents' fault, not necessarily the fault of the rise of social media or short form content to begin with. Two arguments then. Firstly, the increase in global conflict or issues necessitates the rise of short form media. I'd first like to tell you that sensationalist news largely encompasses very largely differing aspects of global conflict. You hear propaganda coming from Israel, and you also hear news and information coming from Palestine. Absent of this, you largely resort to traditional forms of media such as like Fox News or BBC or tabloids like Star News, etc., which are usually only consumed by individuals who are believing within those certain types of narratives. So BBC is largely conservative in nature, or CNN is largely like Fox News is largely progressive in nature. So the ability for you to hear opposing views is highly unlikely in that instance. That is what government's case largely is. Three structural reasons then. Firstly, there is an increase in exposure to global conflict. The Israel and Palestine conflict would only be able to be better handled under opposition side the moment in which you have this information permeated to a large extent, i.e. now everyone is able to consume this information. Even the toddlers that the government talks about are able to better understand the conflict. As opposed to you only being fed one side of the information, you, because of the algorithm, are fed both sides of the information. You can see the horrors that are being inflicted upon the Palestinians, and you can also see the lies that are being promoted by the Israelis. You are better able to understand what is happening within the global issues. Then this allows for better call-out mechanisms. Secondly, the rise allows for multiple views to easily be portrayed. So similar to what I mentioned just now, Israel and Palestine, news tabloids are showing one side of the story as opposed to other differing sides. You're better able to understand more information when you have short form content which portrays both information simultaneously. Thirdly, it prevents echo chambers. It also shifts the Overton window. The Overton window in this instance refers to what is acceptable, what is an acceptable form of discussion. This can only be reached when you have two diametrically opposing sides of an argument, i.e. the Israel side and the Palestine side. What is then acceptable to be discussed is better able to be garnered there. So the echo chambers are able to be prevented because people are forced to consume information that they otherwise would not consume under our side. Comparative is that government makes it harder for individuals to know about the different sides of global conflicts. E.g., if you were only consuming Israeli propaganda, you would have never known about the Palestine side of the story. The impacts are threefold. Firstly, better checks and balances. Secondly, you are able to better break out of echo chambers. And thirdly, you increase the Overton window. For all those reasons, thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Op. Can I call upon DPM? Whenever you're ready, you may start.
All right, sure. So the leader of the opposition has mentioned that the I may start now. All right. So the leader of the opposition has mentioned that the short form contents will not only provides even though they agree that this content provides endless entertainment, but they also agreed that they also mentioned that this type of short form contents they're able to give us the audience information from both sides of let's say a conflict or a conflict at a global stage, which gives people the ability to better dissect and to better create their own worldview on what they're supposed to believe and who they're supposed to support. Well, we agree with this point and we concede, but the opposition also forgot to mention that, and we, all right, I'll just reiterate that we do not necessarily say that entertainment or short form content is bad in itself, but we do believe that it is something that is harmful and very dangerous for a large sector of the society, especially children and youth. Okay, we say this because short form contents are like the primary users of TikToks and YouTube Shorts. Who are they? They are, of course, either children's youth. Well, we agree that there are adults using it, but let's just stick to the youth for now. So for the youth, like people from around our age, for high school students, for college students, university students, the media they consume on a daily basis is largely unrelated or affects negatively on their own mental health and such. So like for example, we will, even myself and people around my age, we will use this kind of platforms to distract ourselves on every time we have a spare time. So when we wake up, we will use TikTok. When we are stressed, we will use TikTok. When we disagree or when we have the time to, like when we finish a task or something, or we are waiting for the task to be done, we will use TikTok. And this type of contents, they are draining us because they are not in any shape or form productive. But what I mean by productive is that they are not memorable and they are not helpful at all. Because I guess outside of like selected fews, how many of us like actually benefited from the use of this kind of short form contents?
Right.
Yes.
How do people, for example, if you're an Israeli supporter under your side, how are people able to consume information which allows them to break free from being an Israeli supporter and something to support Palestine then?
Well, all right. For that specific case, then we will agree that short form contents are actually valuable for people to dissect on what they should believe on a specific political goals. But what we are trying to say to now is that not by not neglecting the political aspects of the of social media, we are trying to say is that this kind of media, they are, for the general youth, people are not actually using it for to dissect the truth about certain conflicts and general truth regarding the world and such, but they are exclusively using it for their own entertainment and as a mean of distraction from their daily routine, which all right, which by why I just said now that we reiterate that entertainment is not bad in itself, but by watching this kind of short form contents, they are actually they are destroying their own attention span, which if we are which according to like scientific studies, that the usual uh the original attention span of human beings are 12 seconds, but now it is reduced to 8 seconds. And by reducing the attention span, we are not actually able to focus greatly on what we are supposed to do on our daily life. Also, like we need to realize that this kind of short form contents, they are developed from the previous forms of social media, which are actually developed to be uh, a source of endless distractions as a mean for us to escape our daily life. So for the point regarding um, the point regarding wait. Uh, you there? Oh. I think that is all for me. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you to DPM. Can I call upon the party leader of OP? DLO, whenever you're ready, you may start.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Check WhatsApp.
Oh,
It's okay, take your time. DLO, whenever you're ready, you may start. Gedeng. Semai tadi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good afternoon to honorable judges, members of the House, and all present. Today we proudly stand in against of the motion. The House regrets the rise of short-form media. Before I come to my own arguments, let us first have a look at what the government side has said. They said that short-form media unrelated to their daily life and effect on their mental health. For example, when they stress, they will open TikTok, and whenever they're exhausted, they will using the social media. But actually, this is all just about discipline that we need to limit ourselves, and we are the one that can choose what things that we want to see and how much we want to see. Okay. Now moving on to our extension. Firstly, how short forms media better allows for minority representation in terms of business. In terms of business through social media, they can do a business with low cost and easy to make a promotion and easy to be known. For example, a business owner doesn't need a big cost for renting shop lot, physical advertisement such as billboard, printing flyers, poster, or advertisement on television that costs thousands of ringgit. And social media, for business in social media, they just need to register a business account and a good internet. That's all. So and the social media also offer global information that offer global information that your video may viral and trending around the world, not in just Malaysia. For example,
UI.
no, thank you. For example, with creative content creation, like memes, it may be viral, and creative content creation will attract people to buy things. And this is not only just make easier for business owner, but also for shopper that can get a lot of voucher and just shopping anywhere without going to physical shop. Um, and maybe the opposition might say without social media also can make a business success. And some people prefer traditional way, but traditional business makes it harder for the business to get known. It's hard to reach the right customer because some business aim for certain parties. But business in social media, every ages and every generation use it. So um, whether you are young or you are teenagers or oldest, they can get to know about your business. Okay. Sorry. As a result, this leads to success business with low cost and save time, save energy. At the end, we must ask which is better. Even if the point sounds good, our brings more benefit. We believe the answer is clear. That's why we probably propose this motion. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, DLO. May I call upon the government whip to end the government bench, please? Gov whip, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hi.
All right.
Thank you.
sugarcoat it, okay? It is true. We probably shouldn't be that proud of a short attention span, but it is what it is, okay? And we have to face the reality of the world. And I would rather live in a world where everyone is educated and knows about what's happening in the world, even if it's in a less than less than optimal way, less than beautiful or integral way, because at least the society is being informed. Would you rather a world where we gatekeep the information behind long form content, and because they paint the society as so incompetent and so incomprehensibly just so short-minded, short attention span, they are unable to catch up with the real life world events, and thus they just are gatekept from the information in the real world? Do you see why our side wins out on the clash of short form content is still better, even if we have short attention spans, because it helps us inform them nonetheless? I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. You aren't gonna get a PhD from learning from like short form content. You're not gonna get a A+ if you only study with YouTube shorts, like organic chemistry tutor or whatever. But at the very least, you have a surface level understanding, and more people will have a surface level understanding compared to their side of the house that tries to promote long form content and and deter from short form content. Secondly, it's still just a boomer argument, man. Like, should I be proud of my like inability to walk long distances? Because nowadays I have vehicles and cars and technological advancements. I shouldn't really be that proud about the fact that I can't walk more than 5 kilometers, but like, is it really that big of an issue? Like, we have other things to make up for it anyways. So that's why they lose out on the point of goldfish short attention span. Third but not least, people are lazier and everything becomes easy to them because everything's just handed to them. Well, I'm sorry we're making the world more easy for the society. I'm sorry we're making people have a better life. Do you see what the argument is being made? They're basically blaming technological advancements. They are blaming the little kids these days for having it easy. But that's the whole point of advancement. We want to make things easier for everyone. Okay, now I'm going to move on our point, on the opposition side. Opposition side shows you that not only does creativity thrive, it actually innovates itself. Because in this environment where short form content is allowed to thrive and be preferred by the majority, you need something to be unique. You need something to really catch your attention at that very moment. If it's boring in the first 5 seconds, yeah, most people might just swipe away. But you know what that means? When you actually do watch that video as a short form content consumer, that video is probably packed to the brim with incitement, with continuity, with education, or whatever, valuable information, which doesn't get padded out. Just because something is long form doesn't always make it better. There are good quality long form content. There are good quality short form content. There's long quality there's like bad long form content, there's bad short form content. But I would argue, even on this scenario, right, would you rather waste an hour of your time, or would you rather waste 30 seconds of your time in your day-to-day life? Which is worse? Obviously, wasting an entire hour. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that not only does this happen in our side of the house, we also allow more job security. Because here's the thing, people who prefer long form content are still going to consume it nonetheless, right? So the consumer base is probably about the same. Let's be real. And secondly, it actually increases in the fact that people will be introduced to a certain topic via the short form content and will be introduced to it. And if they are interested, if it sticks with them, they will do their due diligence and research it further. How? Through long form content. So long form content basically gets free advertising from short form content. You have to understand that this is a collaborative work. Not everything has to be so black and white where one exists while the other cannot. Both can exist together. But obviously, in our generation, short form content is the king because everything becomes easier to everyone. Everyone is informed. Everyone knows what to do and what's happening in the world around them, not kept by an hour of like reading or whatever. With that, I've never been so proud to oppose today's motion. Thank you very much.
Third speaker spent 7 minutes during his speech. And for the reply speech session, let's welcome from the opposition team, Ms. Noor.
Do I start my reply speech right away, or is there time gap for the reply speech?
There is no time prep for the reply speech.
All right. So I'm going to start my reply speech right away. All right. So I'm starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So to summarize every point given by the opposition side. So first of all, short form media is a quick way.
Wait, just sabar.
Alright.
I'll share the reply speech timer first. Wait.
Alright.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right, you can start whenever you're ready.
So I'm gonna start my reply speech in 3, 2, 1. So to summarize all of the points given by the opposition side, first of all, I would like to recap that short form media is a really quick way to transfer of information and to catch up to the latest news and information. So this proves that short form media is a really good medium to spread news globally in a short amount of time. And second of all, talking about short amount of time, in this world we live in a society where we have short-term attention span, and even though that it's bad, but to cater to that short attention span, like my whip said, short form media offers that. Short form media opens not just catering to the short attention span, but it's also open doors to creativity instead of closing it up. It opens a different type of creativity instead of but it's still open doors for creativity, even if in different forms. It's just in short form, not in long form. And moreover, it doesn't really necessarily close job sectors. It doesn't necessarily mean unemployment. It opens job sectors. Like my second leader of opposition said, companies even open department to produce social media content, which causes more employment in different type of sectors. And also, this social media platform, it gains more engagement and popularity because you can access to it in just one click. And lastly, I would recap that why judge should support opposition is, as said by my whip, the government side lack of proof to tell us why short form media causes this brain rot or this declining in in children's social interaction and in children's behavior overall. And also, the judge should support our side because our world is better in terms of this globalization and also in this world of advancing technology. With that, I'm proud to oppose.
The Speaker of the Opposition team spent 2 minutes and 36 seconds during her speech. And lastly, here is the reply speech from the government team, Ms. Intan Nur Ain.
I'll begin my reply speech now. Okay. So in this reply speech, I will recap all of the points that were presented by my team, my Prime Minister, myself, and I'll show you why our side of government is better and we are right, and this motion should be supported today. Okay. So my Prime Minister has proposed that this House regrets the rise of short form media because it leads to unemployment, uh, because it leads to unemployment, job losses, and second point is that short form media leads to shorter attention span and it causes a decay in quality human interaction. Our third point is the rise of anti-intellectualism. Shorter form media contributes to the rise of anti-intellectualism because it's deeply integrated in brain rot content and okay, and it uh contributes to people being more lazy and impatient and people wanting instant gratification. And this is a bad thing for the development of our brains, hence the name brain rot. Third point is that, fourth point, it's that short form media kills art because it limits creativity. Because instead of having this idea that will be well elaborated in a 20 minutes video, content creators now have to squish all that into 15 seconds video, and they will not be able to express their entire idea and creativity as a whole. Therefore, create a limited creative freedom. So, on our side of the debate, we are the government and we support the motion that we regret the rise of short form media, and we strongly suggest that our world is better because instead of catering to all these bad things, like even the opposition actually agrees that goldfish attention span is not good. So instead of catering to the bad things, we should do something about it and we should change that for the better. We should not support the goldfish attention span and we should um encourage long form media more, we should promote long form media more, and we should reject the rise of shorter form media because we need to not cater to this bad situation, and instead we have to uh, support to change for the better, as in longer attention spans. So that's why we here strongly suggest the judge to support our motion today that the House regrets the rise of short-term media. That's all. Thank you.
Sorry, chairperson.
Yeah. Oh, was I not audible?
No, we couldn't hear you. Now we can.
Oh, all right. Sorry for the mistake. And that marks the end of our debate for today, and we will allow the honorable adjudicator to decide the winner of this debate. All the debaters may enter breakout room 2 for the opposition team.
Actually, I think they can stay here. I'll just mute my mic and then
all right.
I'll just unmute when I'm ready. Is that okay?